Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of UHS Presents. I'm your host Sarah, and Lori cannot join us tonight because she is fighting a 60-foot raccoon that is attacking her village. So tonight we are joined instead by my guest co-host, our buddy Mr. Fish.
What is up, everybody? Glad to be here.
I am so glad you are here too. It sounds like you're out of practice with your streaming stuff or something. I don't know.
I'm out of practice with everything. I'm still in the process of getting over COVID from a couple of weeks ago, and it knocked me on my butt. I'm here to tell you. But I'm doing better. I'm up. I'm moving just a little bit slower than I used to be.
Well, as long as you're still kicking, that's what's important.
Amen.
So I have to do the UHS news review because Lori's going to do it for me. But I wrote myself some notes because she's got a better memory than I do. So, The Art of Stanyak is like just a hair under 20 hours left. So you got a little bit more time to get in there and get that. And we actually are over $17,000 right now. Last time I checked, I should say, which is like, oh my God, right? Like that's a record for us. We've never, that's definitely our record to beat now. And I just like the book definitely deserves it. Like Stan's art is insane, but it's just also holy crap, right? To be so there it is. I had the tab pulled up. We're at 17,179, which I actually think that we may have dropped a backer there. That's been causing Lori no small amount of anxiety.
And it always drives me nuts when it gets to the end and you get like a couple of new ones and then somebody drops and it just that drives me up the wall.
That's why I said, I don't know if I said it last week on stream or what, but I was like, yeah, that's why I deliberately do not. Like, I could watch them like she does, like, keep my eye on them all the time. But I can't handle that kind of stress. And I've tried to tell her to stop doing that to herself too. It's like, you can't control it. So you should just.
I go into it expecting those things. Like as soon as we hit goal, I expect a bunch of backers to drop off. And, because usually once they hit it, so they pull their $40 pledge and then it drops again and goes back up. And so I'm constantly expecting the worst so that I don't get too upset when it happens. But it is frustrating. I don't need to be watching it either.
Yeah, we did have somebody drop for like $500, which was that was an ouchie. Like we all noticed that one. And but it came back up and now we have what is the next stretch goal? Like if we get to 17.5 in the next 20 hours, we're going to add another 8 pages to the book. And we get monsters and other scary shit for all backers. So like everybody who has ever worked with Stan on a book, I swear, has come out to say, here, this is something that Stan worked on. Just, you can give it to your people. So that was amazing. So, thank you to all of those people as well.
See, that's a sign of a good dude right there. That's a sign of a good dude. I was really surprised how many people, when I did Green Zone, like my buddy Roy that I've been illustrating the Sentinels for a long time, was just like, yeah, you can have the entire collection, just give it away, sure. And I was like, man, that's awesome.
And that's like that's the indie comics community is just so awesome. Like I mean, obviously I'm sure I have not ever witnessed any major drama here, but like
I have.
Well, I bet you have. You've been in a little longer than I have. And like I've only seriously been paying attention for like 2 years now. So I mean, I was helping Lori for a while, but I have only been like really involved for a couple of years. So I've witnessed a couple of things, but I'm sure I've heard of some things that's some shit that went down. So I'm sure it's you'd have some stories.
Just like anything else, there's all kinds of people involved in it, but there are so many good people, and that's what I like to focus on. Like some of my best friends now I've made over like the last 3 years, and we talk all the time. And these people like know me well enough that like they check on me after certain TikToks, like, you know, your voice didn't sound, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, they cut the audio 10 times and I had to re-record the audio 10 times. So by the time of it, I wasn't my normal, like, hey, it's your Uncle Fish. Yeah, you know, but they catch that because we know each other well and they check on me, and I appreciate that. Those are good.
Yeah, and that's cool. And that's like the people that you work with that come out to contribute stuff to your latest campaign, and just the camaraderie, and like obviously awesome comics that come out of it all. So I mean, I highly recommend anybody that's into comics check out the indie comic scene, because you probably not like, and this is a situation in which not only can you get a really great comic, but you can probably meet the people like up close and personal who made the book for free. You don't have to pay $20 to get a picture and a signature. So yeah, I think that everybody should.
Absolutely.
So, other news: Power Broker is shipping. Like y'all be getting your books, either this week or next week, I think. So like you'll be getting your stuff soon. And I also yesterday I got to see a little sneaky peeky on the Surgeon #5, the coloring page, the progress on the coloring, and it looks so sexy. You guys are gonna be so stoked to see this. It's so good. It's so good.
I am so excited for this series. And it's one that, like, I don't know why I slept on it the first couple of issues. I don't know why, because when Lori gave me some copies to work on a cover so I know what I was working on, I freaking fell in love with it, and absolutely everything about it I love. I dig it. I'm so excited about the new issue coming out, and I feel like such an idiot that I missed the early issues. That like every opportunity I could share it to somebody, I was like, hey, check this out. You don't want to pull a fish. You don't want to miss this. Go check this out right now.
Well, I thank you for doing that, for you know, like being our hype man there for that stuff, because I agree. I mean, obviously I didn't write the story. It's John Pence's work, and it's so crazy. And you know, I kind of, you know, I get to know what happens. Like I know the gist of where the story's going. And so I, you know, like it's definitely worth it. And the climax is, and it's really crazy. Just if you've only read up to what's available right now, it's like you're waiting on a cliffhanger, and you're
dying to know what happens. I am dying, and Lori was like, do you want me to give you the script so you know what happens for the cover? I was like, I want to know. I really want to know, but like I don't want to know because I don't want to ruin like reading it for the first time.
Yeah, so the experience with the art, it's something else. I don't know. Yeah. That's where I don't, you know, I've seen scripts before I see the art.
That was the hardest choice I've made in a long freaking time. Right there was that choice, and I decided to wait.
Yeah, and you probably like, it sucks at the time because now you don't get to know right away, but also it's gonna be better when you actually get to reading it, so it'll be better. But yeah, so I think that's it. Coming up, what's coming up, and we've got another campaign coming up here shortly, and I forget which one it is, so y'all have to go check it out on our social media because I don't remember. I'm kind of like I'm kind of feel like a dumbass right now because I know that I should know. Oh well.
Y'all put out a lot of books. Y'all put out a lot of books. I'm really impressed with the number of books. and the quality of books. Like putting out a lot is one thing. Putting out quality is a whole nother thing. That's not easy.
Right. Yeah, and that's something that we're very we're very serious about. If it's not up to par, Lori's not gonna if you give her a sample that's not up to par, she's going to tell you that it's not, and she's going to tell you why, and she's going to be nice about it too. She's not going to be a dick like you see on all the TV people, the execs that just don't even care and throw your stuff.
You don't have to hurt your feelings about it, but she will tell you, which is like why I've hired her to be my editor, because like she'll hurt my feelings, and I appreciate that. Like she's not gonna like, oh, it's okay, let it slide. No, she'll be like, okay, this doesn't make sense, and I appreciate that. So
it's always hard to, well, for everybody, you make a thing and it's your baby and it's hard to hear about it. But also, like, with Lori, have you ever heard her say anything mean about anybody? Like, she's so sweet. If she's gonna reject something and you ask her why, she's going to tell you, and she's going to be constructive so that you can actually maybe, improve the script that you send. You can try again with something else. Like it's gonna be for the better. Like it hurts at the time, but
absolutely.
The feedback she gives is always very constructive, and it helps you get better. So I'm always fine with getting feedback from her.
Big fan.
We've been trying to oh my god, the schedule for she's got us scheduled up to like 2025 now, I think. Like she's just going crazy about obviously anything past this year, and if she's anything past the next couple months is all tentative, but like she knows what she's basically doing for the next several years, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. This is crazy. So Katie's here. Katie says hi, guys. Hi, Katie, thanks for joining us. Legend Storm TV. That's Andrew, right?
That's Andrew.
Says, what's happening, Fish? How's it going? And,
howdy, man.
And yeah, thanks for joining us. And tonight, let's get to the meat and potatoes part. We are going to be talking about Don Walker's new book with him. So let's just go ahead and bring him on. Hello, Don.
There he is.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, man.
Yeah. So you have a new book, a sketchbook, right? It's like your art book.
Yes.
Coming out. So I have stuff. I have the where did it go? Oh, I lied. I don't have it up anymore. I'm gonna pull it back up. But yeah, you can if you want to just give us the rundown here while I do that.
Okay, so the book is called the DON Sketchbook #2 Futures, and the book is essentially 20 interior pages of all new, never before seen characters for my Dork Empire Inc. imprint. And so each page is a raw pencil illustration, but in a cover style illustration for an upcoming character or book in the Dork Empire Inc. universe. So it's like the first crack at 20 brand new characters when you get this book. And they're all planned for their own books later.
Wow. So that's way cooler than just a regular art book. That's like an art book on steroids. I don't know. Like that's a bigger deal. You put a lot of thought into this.
I did. Like I have there's one page. I don't know if you can see it real good.
Yeah, I actually have that one here. If I'll just pull it right up onto the screen here. I've got that one, and I've got the other one that I used for the thumbnail for this episode.
So so on your left, that's Insana Gloria. Insana just Spanish for crazy or insane. So Insane Gloria. The character on the right is called Raider X, and he is a I'll give it away, but he's kind of like a cyborg kind of character.
Okay. Nice.
And so like my Dork Empire universe is a shared universe. So I do books set in the modern day, and books set in the future, and both these characters are modern day set books and characters.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Very nice. So I have to ask you, because this is kind of been when you sent me the art samples and I saw, and you have her as your big thumbnail image as well, and I gotta ask, did anybody give you any crap for that thumbnail?
Not a one.
Awesome. Because
anyone who's mentioned it loves it.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I just wondered. I was like, because that is very strong imagery, but it's really cool, and I like the use of the like, even in black and white, the use of the light. I'm jealous of anybody who's very good at distributing light, because I suck at that. I'm terrible at it. So yeah, like with the black and white too, I think is even cooler, because you can see all that stuff very strongly, and I'm just in awe, and I would say I'm jealous, but I'm more just jealous in the way that I need to work. I need to practice more. Is all. I just need to practice.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I love following those artists that challenge me, and I'm like, oh, that's good. I need to learn how to do that. Yeah, I love following those guys on Instagram.
I'm exactly the same way. Anyone who's better than me, I'm just like, I try to absorb all I can from their work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And every time I master something, I just challenge myself to do something else. Like, okay, what am I gonna do next?
I mean, you guys, you both are like just miles and miles and miles ahead of me as far as skill level goes. I don't care. Like, I used to be very like that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I used to be elbows deep in the work of Zach Dolan all the time, right? And when I first started doing it, I was always very like, oh, I'm never going to be this good. And now I'm like, maybe I'm never going to be that good, but I'll be good in my own way. And I'm still, I'm like, just because my stuff isn't as good as I'd like it to be doesn't mean it's not good. So I'm okay.
No, it's important for every artist. We all go through it. We all have our like Mount Rushmore artists who we love, and we want to be like them. And then at one point realize I'm not going to be them. I'm not going to be them. So I'll be the best version of me. And then once you get to that point, everything else is a gravy. You're like, it's smooth sailing after that.
Yep.
Pressure's off, basically.
For me, like, once you get a really honest view of what your work is and where you are, it's very freeing. Like, for a long time, I suffered under the misconception that I was much better than I was. Like, I thought I was as good as I imagined the work to be and as good as I wanted it to be. But when I looked back and took a real honest look at my work, I was like, you know what? I kind of suck a little. And it was very freeing to see where I really was. And then that let me start to fix things that I needed to fix. It showed me what I needed to work on. Like, I started incorporating things like I pencil a page and then I flip it and ink it backwards, because any little skewed things stand out really bad when you flip it. And so I can fix them in the inks, and then I'll flip it back over when I color it, and any little tweaks jump out and I can fix it then. That made a huge difference. And, you know, having that honest view of where I am, I'm like, there's a lot of people that are better than me. There's a lot of people that wish they were as good as me. I wish I was as good as me, 10 years ago. So, like, I'm happy with where I'm at, and I put out a lot of work, so people pay me for it, so it must be okay.
Exactly.
I'm as astounded by your speed as I am by your skill. Like, you're good at it, but you also crank it out so damn fast. And there's
that I do. Yeah.
Everybody else that I've mentioned, like we talk about when we're talking about Fish's art, it's like, how does he do it so damn fast?
That's it. I mean, part of it is 40 years of practice, doing nothing but drawing all the time. And for a long time, I started challenging myself to drawing straight in ink when I was on paper, like with a brush pen and stuff. So you start to get real comfortable with your lines and learning how to make it work, even if you screw up a little bit. And that helps speed me up a lot. And my style is kind of simple. Like, I don't put I don't spend a day cross-hatching a page like some guys do. So that saves me a whole lot of time. And, you know.
That's why I'm like, I'm not at the level that I can be the penciler for a whole series. Because, like, I'm sure that my style is good enough for several different stories, but, like, it takes me way too damn long to do stuff. And that's what I got to work on for that if I want to be a penciler. But I'm fine with
I'm way too slow. But I do what's like full penciling is called. I'm on paper still. I'm super analog. I don't do anything digital. So it's all pencils and paper. If you've seen my work, like my interior stuff is as detailed as these pieces you just showed. So my interior stuff's just as detailed. And I'd have to do a whole lot less penciling to ink my own work. Like, it would be a lot less penciling. I have to go straight to ink half the time, but like, I don't know. I want to eventually try to ink like digitally. Give that a try. It would probably speed my stuff up a lot faster, but the quality I'm known for, I probably wouldn't be able to do as an inker just because I haven't been studying that art form. So I have a bunch of guys who I work with who do. So
that's the thing. Like, I would have given anything for an inker when I was in high school, like, you know, to be able to just focus on the pencils and let somebody else do the inking. But like back then, we didn't even have the internet to really connect with people. Like, we didn't have Facebook and MySpace. So if you didn't meet somebody in town, like, you just didn't know them. And I knew a dude that was better than me, but when he tried to ink my sketchy art, he inked every sketch line I drew, and that didn't work. Like, I needed him to correct it, not just make what I did darker. And
you want to embellish,
yeah. So I ended up having to teach myself to do it, and I hated it so much. But the more I studied it, the more I got good at it, the more now it's my favorite part. And like you said, like, if I'm inking my own stuff, a lot of times, like, the bodies are rough shapes with a cross on the face, you know, like, I don't even go into much detail because I do most of that in inking. And because I work digitally, if I screw up an eyebrow, I can undo it and draw it again. So that saves me so much time. Like, when I used to have to pencil it by hand and get it all in enough detail that I could ink it by hand, you know, that took a lot more time. Now it's like doing
it twice, right?
Oh yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Doing it in full detail twice. Like, that's so much work.
Yeah.
So I do love the fully rendered pencil pages. I mean, they look great. Like, you could sell your pencil pages to somebody to collect. Nobody wants to buy my pencils. It's just really garbage. Like, nobody wants to pay for that.
That was always how Zach was. Like, all of his pages were crazy good. Like, he had it precision, and people wanted to buy them. Like, they very often were offered as Kickstarter rewards because his pencils were just really good. And
I do the same thing.
I've seen them. It's like yours. Yeah, it's like they're crazy details and all that. And Lori said her very first thing whenever he'd send her a page to ink, the very first thing she did was curse at him for being so damn detailed, because it would take her a whole day to ink a single page. And sometimes I can remember one specific, I think it was issue 6, one specific panel took her like a whole day because that's how crazy it was. I mean, it's a thing, and I get it. Katie says the best attitude any artist can have is that no matter what skill level you have, there's always something else to learn. I think we're all there. Like, we're all pretty saying the same thing. And yeah, well, Katie, I was gonna say Katie is one of the artists that I look to for, like, she's just really freaking good, and she likes to have that imposter syndrome crap with me, but I know a difference. And I still
to this day am amazed that anybody pays me to color anything. And I keep expecting them to take the money back and be like, wait a minute, you're not really a colorist. You've been faking it all this time. And but they keep paying me for it.
I think Katie's been drawing since she was in diapers, and she still feels that way. And y'all, I know, Fish, you've seen some of her stuff. I don't know, Don, how familiar you are with Katie's stuff, but you can go. Well, she did some art for us. She did a story in, like, she and I did a story for Elsewhere, and she did some reward art, I think, for the One Surgeon campaign. Like, she's done a little bit of stuff. She did some stuff for Morgan commissioned her for a cover, maybe, I can't remember, but yeah, you've probably seen it and just didn't know who did it or something, because it's floating around out there. And,
awesome.
And she's got great skill, and we're trying to rope her into doing more stuff for comic stuff, because I'm like, she got her strength is fine art painting. Like, she's the photorealistic wildlife paintings, and
I could never do it, but I admire it. I don't have the patience or the focus. Like, if I can't knock it up quick, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I've watched her live streams where you see her put in, like, the each individual little line. I was like, wow, the attention span and the attention to detail and the amount of focus you have to have. I was like, I don't think I'll ever do that, and I don't have to feel bad saying that, because that's just a lot.
I admire it, I envy it, but not enough to put the focus. I can't rewire my brain enough to focus that hard on something for that long.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm sure
lets me work really fast, but it stops me from doing that other stuff. And
I can't paint at all.
It takes a really long time too. The hand painting,
My dad was an amazing painter. I never got that skill at all. He's an oil paint, which takes forever. My daughter can paint, though. My daughter's 14 and can paint pretty badass. And I'm like, you didn't get that from me. So that's your grandfather right there.
I don't have as much patience as people think I do for painting. I'm just very stubborn. That's magic. That's what it is. If
I could work my stubbornness into it, I'd be set. I would never quit on that freaking thing if I could get my stubbornness involved. I never thought of that.
So, well, we should probably look at this campaign here a little bit.
Probably should.
So you're almost there. You got less than $500 to go, and I'm a little shocked that you aren't already there, because your preview stuff is extremely good.
What size is the book? Like, I backed it today, but I wasn't sure what the size was.
It's a regular comic size.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanted as much real estate to, like, let you see all the fine pencil work. My first sketchbook was a smaller, kind of like manga size, kind of book, and eventually I didn't like what it came out to be as much as it could have been, because it's so small. I lost a lot of detail in the work, so I want a bigger, more comic size, and but anything large would have cost more money, so kept it simple, basically. I was hoping we would have been funded by now, but it's all good. Like, people should know, like, all 20 pieces are 11 by 17, and they're all available in the campaign as a reward tier.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm not married to none of this stuff. Like, I scan all my artwork, so it can be off into the wild real quick.
So you have another book. It's Dreadlock the Barbarian, right? It's not yet finished, right? And
no, I had a number of medical problems this last year that kept me from drawing. It's all penciled. The anchor is 4 pages away from being done. Awesome. The color is on the last 8 pages, or he's on 8 pages from 18 to 24, I believe. So we're getting there. I'm hoping by latest end of July it'll all be done, so I can go to the printer.
Fabulous.
I be that guy who gets his stuff done late. What's that?
This is one of those books that I have been so excited about and been waiting for. I keep checking on it regularly, looking for it, because I have been so excited about this one.
Oh, yeah, dude!
I looked at the Kickstarter to see about your updates too, and I saw that you directly addressed the whole "why would I start another Kickstarter when this Kickstarter isn't quite done yet?" Which excellent transparency on that one there. Which I'll just let you explain that, because you've already basically explained it. The overall.
Well, yeah, I knew it would be an issue, and what's funny is no one's mentioned it. No one's complained at all.
Well, it's because
but I have not been able to get those same backers onto this project either. So that could be their way of complaining. I don't know. But, you know, I'm done with Dreadlock as far as everything I could possibly do. And so I needed another outlet. And this sketchbook was another outlet for me to just keep working while my guys finish the book. And so I figured, okay, well, I'll put this out there. It's done. All I need is the money to and put it out there. So this should not be another late book, God willing, right?
Well,
Knock on wood.
I did go to the Dreadlock campaign, and I looked at all your updates, and I saw that you've been updating pretty regularly. So I think that's probably why nobody's like freaking out about why are you running this. Like, you're being very communicative, and that's very important when you run a Kickstarter campaign. Like, you can't just start a new campaign and then you know, like the last campaign's dead to me even though it's not finished. Yeah, so like
Exactly.
Excellent.
There's lots of those out there.
Yeah, there is.
And I would love to show artwork for Dreadlock that's being done right now, but almost every page of the book is a spoiler. There's so much going on. It's a bonkers book, and I love it so much.
Well,
and
hey,
I want y'all to see it.
Yeah, I think you said that you're looking at hopefully having that done by getting that ready to print by July. You said, right?
Yeah, best case scenario, I think. I went through 3 colorists. The very first colorist did the first 10 pages, and like immediately got hired by like Rob Liefeld, and then Marvel.
Yes.
Then Marvel after that. So he's like, I can't do your book.
Just followed him today, and I was like, oh yeah, he's working at Marvel. And I went back and saw that you'd gone to the colorist. I was like, oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, good for him. That's great for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Sucks for him.
I'm not mad at him at all. Like I get to say Brian Valenza colored my book or part of it, so I'm cool. Yeah. I told him like, we're good, bro. Like, go do your thing. The next guy I brought on the book to color didn't work out. After about 6 months, colored 2 pages, so he had to go. But then I brought back an artist named Nick Chapuis. Is an amazing colorist and artist on his own right. He's a German guy. He lives in Argentina, and he colored Agent Wild for me as well as Reaper Corps. And so I'm like, dude, can you come on board? He's been doing a lot of penciling and illustrating. So I'm like, you have time to color this? Like, you kind of like do a similar style so the book looks congruent, but like, you know, do your own flares and whatnot. So he came on board. He's doing the 18 pages after Brian left. So he's kicking butt and it's looking amazing. And it's just, I keep calling it bonkers because I love the book so much. I can't wait to do more, but I want to put 0 out first, get it out there. And I definitely have a miniseries planned. It's in the works as far as the script is concerned, but it's gonna be fun. It's been worth the wait for sure. And if it's not, you can tell me later and tell me I suck and whatever. But like, I fully believe it'll be really good.
I'm kind of mad that I missed out on the original Kickstarter because I'm looking at it and thinking like that sounds like something that would be really fun to. And like I mean, geez, even if there was no story at all, like your art is so good, so fun to look at that I'd be like I would be getting my money's worth just by getting the book to look at the pictures. So
thank you.
It's fun. The art is so solid. It's the sci-fi stuff looks interesting. It looks grounded. It looks believable. Like, you know, like I don't know who the girl is that they've got in chains that they're dragging in the sample pages and like throw her in front of that table. But like that table looks real, and I buy that table has purposes to it. And like, you know, I can't wait to read it, man. I have been itching to read this book.
Well, I need to do like 1,000+ copies of my book, so you'll have copies. Trust me, there'll be plenty to go around.
Excellent. Well, I'll have to just keep my eye out for when that's all printed and available, because I might have to grab a copy. I mean, digital, if nothing else, right?
I will blast it everywhere because I'm excited to get it done.
Fantastic. So so I'm gonna scroll down here. We'll have a look at some of the art here. Oh, this is this is not safe for YouTube. Are we gonna get demonetized? We're not monetized, don't worry about it. We'd have to be monetized before we can get demonetized. So this is all new characters that will have their stories, but this is like an introduction.
Exactly. Because we're all creative people and we all have like more ideas than we could possibly get to any given year or two. So I needed to get some of these out of my head onto paper. And this kind of like the way I chose to do it. Just get them out there and let y'all see them. And if y'all like dig something,
good idea. This is a really cool idea. I love it. And yeah, to have like to show everybody, and then you could even potentially get feedback if you wanted. If you ask people for feedback on this,
no, exactly.
People comment about the most, like there's interest in.
Yeah,
right.
So, are you going to have any with your like these pieces that we've been seeing? Are you going to have like any kind of information in the book about them, like with Gloria, for example? Like, will you have like a brief introduction about who she is?
Yeah. So the inside front cover and inside back cover will all have like blurbs for each page. So page 1, like a Song of Gloria, I go through a brief description, like a previews catalog type of description of that character's book.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, because I was thinking it's like I said, it's like an art book, but more like it's art book plus, because you've got these characters that you're introducing to your fans. Like that's I just I kind of was just like, oh, he's got the Art of the Don. Okay, so that's his art book that he's doing. Like just a collection of your art, and it's more than that, and that's so much cooler than I thought it was originally.
And also,
for not paying more attention.
There's going to be a so if you get the print copy tier, I believe it's there's going to be a oh gosh, what's it called? An audio commentary. So everyone will get an audio commentary that will go through the entire book in even more detail. So you'll get more character breakdowns for each character or story in the audio commentary.
We might have to steal that idea for ourselves. It's a really good idea.
I did it for Dreadlock, and I did it for Agent Wild #1, I believe. I did audio commentary track, so people seem to dig them. So
yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here taking notes. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, like what can we do that's really cool? This 3 Demons guy here is
awesome.
Y'all need to go to the actual Kickstarter page and look at this 3 Demons guy up close, because this guy is insane. It's not. Oh, it's just look at it. I don't know. I don't have words. There's no words. It's just like it's crazy. Look at it. And also I will give you the link in the comments here, but I want for everybody to also know that if you go to Kickstarter and use their search function and literally just type "The Don," this is your first result. I checked it for myself, so I know. So it is indeed going to come straight here. So so don't worry about finding it. If you can't get this link here right, don't worry about it, because you'll just go and search "The Don." And I think we posted it somewhere. I know you've posted it on all your social media, so like the link is all over the place.
Right.
including in this in our comments here in just a second. So definitely
I love the look of Raider X, man. That just has like 90s awesomeness all over it, man. That's
what I was going for.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Was like, it looks like the books that I remember from when I was a kid. It's a very cool look. Yes, very cool.
I actually have a guy lined up for that book. As soon as I can come with some money to pay him, that he's gonna start drawing it. I want to do him next year, hopefully. There's another character in here that's not presented on the campaign. But I have a kid's book Still set in my shared universe, but it's more of a kid's book. That has an artist lined up for it as well. I'm just like scrapping and saving, trying to get that money together to pay some of my awesome peers to offload some art duties to someone else besides myself.
Oh yeah, I just
draw it all
looking for a colorist myself, and it's tough. Like the thought of letting go of that aspect and letting somebody else do it is really tough.
Yeah.
But, I hired several people to do sample pages for me, and I found one dude. One of his sample pages looks like I colored it, and I was like, "All right,
there you go."
I think I might have found my dude."
No, when I find somebody good, I hold on to them. Mm-hmm. Like the kids book artist is actually a young person I met at LA Comic-Con. They're walking around with their dad, and they're super sheepish. And kind of find out that this person was like 19 or 18 years old, and their dad was like, "Show him your book, show him your book." And they had this giant like spiral binder, like 4 inches thick, full of just drawings. And this kid was amazing. And I'm sitting next to Chuck Patton, right? Chuck Patton, of course, Emmy Award-winning director, producer of cartoons, as well as an artist for DC and Marvel for like fucking 30 years or whatever. And he's blown away. I'm like, man. So literally, I got their phone number. I called them the day after the show. I'm like, look, I got an idea for his book. They can be perfect for it. Do you want to draw comics? Because their book is full of like animated stuff. I'm like, your style would be great for this character I have. Do you want to do it? I'll pay you this much money. This much time to do it. And they're like, sure. And so we've been talking back and forth. They're working on a pinup for the next con in September, kind of debut the character with their style on it. But they're now 19, but still like they're just like the coolest person ever at 19 and super freaking talented, like way more talented than I was at 19, like way more. So I'm just like flabbergasted this kid.
Oh, my son makes me so mad. He's 18, so much better than I was at 18. I'm proud of it and a little bit pissed off all the time.
How dare you be better than me at the same
right?
If only I had
that's cool. That's really cool, though. I'm sure that kid's probably underselling the excitement that he has for you having hired him for this stuff, to be communicating with him and giving him this, because this is a great opportunity for a young artist getting, diving into indie comics. That's how, look at how many, like we were just talking about, your colorist got hired by, and I'm sure that Rob saw all of the stuff that he's done for other indie titles, and that's why he knows that he's good. So
exactly.
Stuff that you do, you come and you do the indie stuff, and then you get hired by Marvel and take another artist away from us.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as they're graduating. They're graduating to the big leagues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I wanted to hire this artist I've been following to ink my stuff for Green Zone, and I reached out to him, and he had just been snagged up to do the Cowboy Bebop comic, and I was like, damn it, I can't even be mad at you, but
I know, right?
Amazing for you, but so all right. So let's look at some rewards that you got going on here, because we want to know what we get for our money, right? So you get the digital for $5, looks like.
That's a good deal. I'm a digital backer. I love backing digital comics because I'm out of room for physical copies.
I hate that. Never enough space. So $10 gets you the digital and the Agent Wild Union Fall #1 digital. I hate that this green thing happens. Like, can I read it and scroll?
I know, right?
The green thing happen. And so you get Dreadlock the Barbarian and Agent Wild and the Dawn all digital for $10. That's what you get. So also very cool. $15. Yeah. Okay. So $15 gets you the print piece and you get everything that's in the $10 bundle.
Yes.
Awesome. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah.
All about value for me. I try to give everybody as much value as possible.
Yeah, I like it when we're like, sometimes we can't do it, but I like it when we're able to say in a pledge, say, if you back at this reward, you get this extra thing plus all the other stuff. Like it's, I know it's not always possible, but it's nice when we can do that. So $20, you get the print, and do you get the print? Do you get the PDFs for the 20?
Yes.
Okay. I see. It says audio commentary by Don Walker describing characters from Futures and more. Includes audio commentary and the Don Futures print copy. Oh, print copy tier. So there we go. So you get everything that's in the print copy plus the audio commentary. That's pretty cool. $50 gets you all the other stuff and a full color sketch card. Wow. That's pretty cool. $75 gets you blank sketch cover and Dreadlock the Barbarian print and Agent Wild print and everything else.
I would have added Reaper Core, but I'm literally down to the last 22 copies of that book. I printed 1,000 copies and it's almost sold out. So
wow, you would have had to do like a limited tier copy, a limited tier for that, and then you wouldn't have been able to do that. Oh, and you get everything else from the tier before.
Exactly, yeah.
Bummer. So $100 gets you 1 page of the original 11x17 art from Futures, plus all the other stuff.
Cool.
$100. Oh, and you got a retail. Okay, this is cool too. Yeah, retail with a bunch of copies of.
Yeah, that was just added recently when a couple retailers are like, "You should do a retail tier." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Always do a retail tier.
I've never done one ever, but they're like, "You have to do one."
Yeah,
I did one of my first book, and schools picked it up more than anything, which surprised me. I had a lot of schools pick it up so they could give it away, which was cool.
Okay.
Nice. I did not know that schools would be interested in. Well, I guess they're not interested in just anything. It has to be a specific.
Well, and mine was aimed at kids. It was about a superhero with Tourette syndrome, like I have. So, I mean, it was a slightly different market, but had a lot of schools pick it up.
Yeah, but we've got. Well, I can only think of the one book that we have that's like good for all audience ages. But yeah, like most of our stuff, maybe a school wouldn't be interested.
Get a little violent, yeah.
So, okay, at $300, you get 1 20-plate 11x17 portfolio, custom collector's box, a future sketch cover, the full color metal print, and everything else in the Bonanza tier, which is not the only one that's different is the retail tier, right? And that is super cool.
So the portfolio plate idea is kind of like the IDW Treasury Edition books. So you'll get every piece of artwork from the book, 11x17, and it's designed to look like original art, but it's not, obviously. Just designed to look like original pencil art. So you can display it or hang it up or just keep it in a portfolio. And the box, of course, is going to be designed to be archival, so you can keep it in there and protect all your rewards and stuff. So
very cool.
That's kind of a neat idea. Also, too, real quick, I just posted this morning. It's not on the page yet. If we're successful, okay, I'm gonna take all of the physical reward backers, okay. I'm going to raffle off 1 page of original artwork from Agent Wild Union Fall #1 and all 5 copies of that book, kind of regular cover and like 4 variants, including a sketch cover, which I will draw a sketch on. And I'm going to raffle that package off to 1 backer, 1 physical reward backer after the campaign ends. So get on it now. Let's get it funded so you can get some extra free stuff, possibly.
Yeah, in the pot there. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, and look at that. You've got like a decent chance of winning because so far there's only 44 backers.
Yeah, okay. I gotta go change my pledge.
I was just going to ask you, Fish was like, do you want to bump it up?
I'm a digital guy, but if I'm going to stand a chance for all that, it's worth it.
Right?
So,
yeah.
let me go fix this real quick.
I'll add all that tonight on the page, but I've already done it on Facebook, so people are finding out.
Yeah, that's a hell of a deal. Like, yeah, like even if you're still, I mean, look at all the crap you're getting if you don't win that. And then if you get all that, if you back at your $20 and you get the PDF, you're gonna get the digital stuff and a physical copy, and you might win all this other stuff. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to spread that love, man. That's it's all about. You help me, I help you.
I was like, I was gonna back at the digital because I'm like, you know, my very like I have.
Oh, partly I'm cheap. I will tell you straight up, I am cheap. I am an artist. I make a living drawing comics. This is not a wealthy field, so like my budget is pretty small, and I can back more people digitally and help out more folks a little than I can backing one person for my whole budget. But I gotta tell you, with that, I went ahead up it. I even got the commentary level because I want to hear the commentary, and I want to learn from the commentary so I can see what I want to do when I do my sketchbook down the road.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm always very much I like the physical book. I like the way it feels. I like to look at it more. I like more than looking at a screen. I like the way it smells. I know Lori's the weirdo that smells the books while she's on live stream, but I smell the books too because they smell weird. They smell awesome. I love the smell of them. And and then and then you've got that little thing that you can set up you can display it. You can stack it up in your collection. Like just. Like I like the physical copies, but I've had to do digital on the past couple of things that I backed because I'm like, I don't have any money, and I don't know how many of the people who are watching today were here last week when we talked about the cat that ate the stick of butter, but like he's sick because he ate the stick of butter and he's got to go to the vet again because there's something wrong with his brains, obviously. And so I'm like, well, I can still back at digital tiers, but yeah, I'm with Fish. Like this one, come on, you got to back it. You got a little bit more. I mean, the chance to win and all that stuff, that's awesome.
And it depends on what it is too. Like I back a lot of books where like I don't really know the creator that well. I don't really know how good the book's going to be. Like, you know, the Kickstarter thing looks okay. All right, I'm going to be supportive. I'll get the digital copy. We'll see how good it is. Like when I backed Charlie McKelvey's Spider Squirrel, I was like, that's kind of silly. I'll get the digital copy. I got it. I read it. I instantly hit Dude Up and ordered the physical copy right that minute when I got done reading it. And I have backed physical for every level since because I freaking love that book. And like Ro Lamb's Scarlet Ranger, I freaking love that book. Got the physical copy, going to get it from now on. But like, they're not all hits. I mean, gotta be honest, they're not all hits. They're not all, you know. I mean,
I try and get physical. I think I've backed like 200 by now, or real close. But like, I would say 9 out of 10 have been physical. Just I'm a physical reader. Like, I've never been a fan of digital books. And look, I have a hard time because I'm working in comics too. I have a hard time reading the books I get that are physical. They tend to go on a pile for like months until I get to them. But like, if they're digital, I just forget completely about them altogether and never read them.
It's like I forget that they even exist. Never mind that I have to read them. Like I've forgotten. and then like, especially if it's a friend whose book that I back digitally, and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, did I get it? Do I have that? I don't.
I think you feel bad you haven't read it because you don't know where it's at anymore.
See, good friends, they get their books read first. Okay, friends get theirs put in the stack over here. Everybody else's. I just loaded up an entire short box full of need to read books that I've gotten from Kickstarter and like Comic Cons and stuff. Yeah. All indie books, all my need to read pile, and it filled an entire short box on its own. And I read a lot more digital comics. Like I get through those a lot faster and I love the zoom. I can zoom in and read everything. Like the letters this big, reading it.
Oh yeah, you cannot understate that. That is a very strong positive point for the digital comics. Katie pointed out. Katie said, "I much prefer physical books, but the international postage is awesome," which is another thing that our non-American backers, you know, for the American creators, international backers, and I
could not be following Knockaround Guy and Gorilla My Dreams and Killaroo and all these other awesome books from Australia. I could not afford to be backing them all physically. Like
Right.
I'm waiting until like there's enough issues and knockaround guys so I can the shipping's worth it for me to get like all 6-10 issues, whatever, sent to me.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, yeah, like just the things that we pass back and forth to our international like collaborators, like we couldn't do that if we had to do it all by mail. I mean, never mind the time that it would take. It would be so expensive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's we did a couple weeks ago, we did a goof around episode where I just painted a thing and we raffled it off on stream, and Katie, of course it was Katie that won it because she was the only international person in there. And then I was like, and Katie immediately messaged me. She's like, you can just send that to me when you've got a whole box of other stuff to send me. You don't have to send that special because the shipping is crazy. And I was like, thank you. Yes, that's
so wonderful.
We'll do that. It's so expensive. So expensive. And it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it couldn't possibly really cost that much to actually take that stuff over there, could it? I feel like, I mean, we're just getting ripped off, aren't we? I don't understand.
That's crazy.
The only thing going on the jet or the ship headed to Australia or India or Taiwan, then yes, absolutely. Like
exactly.
But
you know it ain't.
It just doesn't make sense when it's going with a million other packages.
Exactly.
It just don't seem right.
So there are services now you can go to. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it's called, but it's like a company that foreign people can get a hold of. And I believe one of my backers, I think it's in Seattle. And so he gets all his, I think he's in like Europe somewhere, and all his stuff goes to Seattle. He backs so much stuff and from Americans. It all goes to Seattle, and it gets put into containers with other people's stuff going to the same country, and he saves a ton of money on shipping, as do we as creators.
That would be smart if somebody set up like a post office box type thing where you can get your American rewards sent to me. I'll box them up and ship them all to you like 4 times a year for the best shipping rate I can get. That would be clever. I've been thinking for a long time it would almost be worth it to find printing companies like get one in the UK, one in Europe, one in Australia, and just send my file over there and let them print it and distribute it like Kablam will do here.
Yeah, that's what we lucked out with having Ian as our, like, we've got Ian over in the UK for us, so we can have our books printed, and he's very graciously taking care of, like, because we don't get that many international backers, so it's not a huge burden on him. So thankfully he is able to do that for us. And if he didn't, then we'd have to, like, the amount of money, like, that's why our international shipping is so reasonable, is the only reason. If we didn't have somebody over there, it wouldn't happen.
I briefly had a guy looking into licensing rights for my T-Man book because there are such huge Tourette's populations everywhere the British Empire went. So there's a lot of people in India. There's a lot in Australia, England, Ireland. And he was looking into licensing rights to try and get it reproduced in some of these other countries and sold there because we get so many people that want it there. But shipping is so high to send it over there most of the time. It's just not worth it for the average person. Like the average mom that wants to get a copy for their kid, it's not worth $20 to get it shipped, to India.
I had to do like realistic shipping on this project as well as the Dreadlock because it was just getting ridiculous. Like, one book, regular size floppy, backboarded in a excuse me, in a Gemini mailer to like Australia was like $15 to $20 minimum.
Wow.
Depending on what province, whatever. And it's just like ridiculous.
Like different neighborhoods in England are different prices.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, exactly.
It's like it's a small place compared to here. Like I can hit any place in Arkansas for one amount of money, and it's way bigger than over there. Like, why can't you do that? It's frustrating. No offense to England or UK or anybody. I don't understand understand why it's so expensive to go
don't
from
have
one
anywhere on their websites, any of the government websites, like nobody explains it. And I would be so much more willing to spend the money if you would have just explained to me why, but nobody explains it. I'm just one of those people that I will understand better if you explain it to me. And so I like, that's what I want from them. I want to know why they're doing it. And if they don't have it,
you don't realize how ridiculous it is and how much just taxes and stuff it is. And, you know, and then you're going to get frustrated not to stuff in the mail. So they don't tell you.
Anyway. So yeah, looks like you went up a little bit here. You're at 1605 now, so that's cool. 43 backers, 5 more days. We can do it, right? You can get this. We can make this happen.
Yeah, there's gonna be some. Those last 2 days is always full of people coming in the last minute. So that's what I'm banking on.
Always. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you've got a few days left on that, and people can still do it. And if anybody who's watching wants this, you've got that Kickstarter link. It's in the banner there. It's in the comments of this video. And if you don't want to type that in, like I said, just go to Kickstarter.com and use the search function and type in the Don, and it's literally the first result. And actually, the other results, I went and double checked while we were talking. The other results are all your stuff. So like all the things that you've created. So like you're definitely gonna find the right place if you just go search the Don, which and yeah, like how much easier can it get than that, right?
Right.
2 words of 3 letters apiece, so easy. Katie says something about the shipping. Don't get me started on why some companies charge me more for being in the Highlands and Islands, and I am not in either. I don't know. What is the Highlands and Islands? They will deliver stuff to shanties in the boondocks to the same place.
Highlands and Islands. That needs to be a book right there. I call dibs on it.
Well, you need to you're gonna need to credit Katie on that, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Well, you let us know what concept you come up with for that title, because I'm curious now.
You'd be surprised some of the names I've got in store. Like I've got like one side book for the Green Zone I want to do that's cigarettes and coffee grounds. And I'm so excited about that book, but like I can't get to it until further down the road. So I got to get like at least 10 issues of Green Zone out first. So it's going to be. I
hear you. I've got like 3 projects that I'm just dying to tell everybody about all the time. And it's like, no, we haven't done anything on it. We can't. That's too early. It's like, I can't.
Exactly.
And I keep getting new ideas. Like I woke up the other night and wrote down enough story ideas for Green Zone to cover me for like 10 years. And I don't know what I'm going to do with all of this, but it's good. It's good. And it incorporates.
You never know. Yeah, you got to write that stuff down because maybe you'll never use it, but maybe you will.
Oh, I'm hoping.
You got to write it down because maybe you will. So, well, yeah, thank you for being on tonight, Don. This was very fun and informative. And like I said, I think that there's a strong possibility we're going to be stealing some of your ideas here because you have those are good creative ideas. And yeah, so back Don's book. And if you can't back the book, if you can't, it's not your thing. That's all fine. We love it if you even just like and share our posts.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so much helpful.
That's so valuable. Yes.
If you're not a creator, if you're not somebody who actually is on the front line of this stuff, then you don't even get to see how much help that is. But we see the analytics, and it's like it's wild how much interaction our posts don't get, and that if you share one, it's so much more. It's crazy. And so, like, yeah, if you want to help, but you don't want to spend any money or you can't spend money, like we totally understand that. If you like and share our posts and share our links, like that is so helpful. So helpful. So like don't even feel bad if you can't put any money towards our stuff. It's all we understand, and we just ask that you like and share. That's our thing. So
please and thank you.
Yes. And yeah, so and then we'll have to come back and revisit in 6 months and see what the Highlands and Islands concept is gonna be.
Most definitely.
And I'm going to have to make sure that I pay attention to Don's posts because I want to know when I can grab a copy of Dreadlock when it's available, which sounds like hopefully soon. I'm going to cross my fingers for you because
Fingers crossed, yes.
If everything goes as you're hoping, as it has been, it sounds like you're going to have that stuff good to go by the end of July, which is amazing.
We're working hard on it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everybody. I'm excited for Green Zone too. Damn it, I want to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, man, the books are out. Like Mike's got the books. If I had been up to taking the trip to Atlanta this weekend, I would have a stack of books right now, flipping through them myself. The Green Zone's out. The source book for Green Zone is out. So you can go through all these police reports and stuff about all the characters and stuff in the book and find out more about them. I've gotten some really good compliments on the source book so far from the people that have seen it. And, oh, man, I've had, like, Andrew was geeking out and sending me pictures and stuff of Green Zone. It was so fun to talk to him about it because now he actually gets to read it. Yeah, well, he went to Ranger Stop in Atlanta, so yeah, he got his copy. He didn't have to wait for them to get shipped out. You know, it's one problem with everybody else in FSK being in Ohio and me being in Arkansas is like I can't just like drive over and go pick them up. And but they'll be shipping them out soon, and I'm super excited. I can't wait for everybody to read them. And
I'm excited too because I'm pretty sure I backed that one at a physical level back when I still had some money. So I think I got it at a physical level. And
if nothing else, Lori's going to be getting some comp copies so she can get you one.
Oh, well, hey, that'll work too. But yeah, I think I did because I think that was like back before I was like, I'm committing to this and I'm going to do it full time. And then I was like, oh, wait, there's no money in this. I can't commit to this full time if there's no money. And, But I mean, not like that's new. I've been poor my whole damn life. What am I saying?
Exactly.
The butter eater, everybody. This is the butter eater. And okay, one more thing, and it was next week on UHS Presents, we're going to be talking with Ian Richardson about Judge Dredd.
Oh,
you better.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, people who are in America don't necessarily appreciate that how big Judge Dredd is in the UK. It's like that's their Spider-Man. To steal Laurie's term for it, that's the UK's version of Spider-Man. Like that's how big Dredd is in the UK. So like Ian being like the Judge Dredd guy is kind of a big deal. So come join us for that because that's going to be fun. And you know, Ian's always really a blast to have on no matter what we're talking about. And we're going to talk about what Ian thinks about the Dredd movies. And as of today, as of right this moment, Laurie has not seen the Stallone Dredd. Or I think she has not seen all of it, as I think it is, or else she hasn't seen it in so many years that she doesn't remember. So like we're at this point where effectively she's not seen it, right? And I have actually, no hate, I have not seen the Carl Urban Dredd. So, which I've been meaning to, but I was waiting for it to come out on something streaming that we already pay for so that I didn't have to pay extra for it.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. I feel you.
Yeah, it is now. I think it's on Hulu right now. So I actually, that was what reminded me that we have to do this episode. And that's what reminded me to poke Ian and schedule him in. So he's going to be with us. And we're going to talk about like, I don't know if it's going to stay to the whole, she's seen Urban's Dredd, I've seen Stallone's Dredd, and he's the Judge Dredd comic guy, right? So I don't know if we're going to stick to that format or if we're going to both commit to watching the movie that we haven't seen yet and then talk about it. I don't know what would be the best way to do this, but
I love Dredd. I really do. I love Dredd. I've collected a lot of Judge Dredd. I like the Stallone movie. I just don't see it as a Dredd movie. Like it's not really Dredd. It's like
exactly. It's like
it's kind of like the cartoon Spider-Man with the big head and the friends, and they're like, you know, saving the playground for later. Like it's not really Spider-Man, but you know, but it's fun, and it's kind of fun to see what they did with it.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
But it's
my
not
first
really
introduction to Judge Dredd was actually Stallone's Dredd. I had no idea because when I was growing up, I didn't like comics. I knew comics existed, but they were not in my own little universe. I didn't have that. So my first introduction to Dredd, and I thought for all this time that it was just some crazy movie that somebody came up with Stallone. And I was like, it's very on brand for Stallone, I think. Like it's a Stallone movie for sure.
It's a fun Stallone movie.
Yeah, I can accept that it's not a great example of dread, though. So I can appreciate that viewpoint, and I'm gonna carry that with me as we discuss what we're doing exactly for that episode, because I'm very sure it's going to be a lot of fun, and we just need to figure out the minutia. So yeah, definitely join us next week if that sounds like something you're into. And I'm actually sort of back on the ball. Like, I'm actually able to put up the ad for next week's episode today when we're done with this one, which is, we can only do it a week in advance because that's what the streaming platform allows. So like, I'm ready to do that now. Like, I'm back on the ball. It was so good last year, and then we took January off, and then I forgot everything, and it took me this long to get back into it. So don't anybody hold me to this, because I'm probably going to screw up again, but maybe I won't. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. So, but at any rate,
I did it in my calendar so I don't miss it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll have to like tag you, like, hey Fish, don't forget this.
Yeah,
So, but yes, thank you, Don, for joining us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Books, for both of your books, not just the art book, but Dreadlock the Barbarian. Excited about getting my hands on that one too. Thank you, Fish, for stepping in to cover Lori. She woke up. She actually, like, she wasn't actually wrestling a raccoon. I might have made that up, but
you lied.
I am sorry. The real truth was so boring. She woke up sick. She wasn't feeling well, and she's like, I was like, yeah, you banned. You don't get to be on the show tonight. You gotta go sleep. Go back to sleep. I'll ask Fish if he's down, and Fish was down, so we're good. Like, I might have run into a snag finding somebody else to come with me, and ended up just with Don and me, and that would have been cool too. But it's always nice to have the more seasoned comic, like, you know more about comics than I do. Everybody knows more about comics than I do. So I always like to have that person that knows a lot more about it than me with me when we talk about comic stuff, and I can be the idiot who doesn't know what I'm doing, and you can be the one to tell me that I'm wrong. So I appreciate that perspective on our shows, and I like to have that. So. And I don't want to have to foist that onto our guest either, because I know, Don, you would also be the guy who knows more about comics than I do. But you're also our guest of honor tonight, so I didn't want to have to load that extra job onto you. So thankfully, Fish step in and take care of that. So, yeah, I think that's everything, right?
I think so.
And we're all gonna go and have a good night. I'm gonna go have supper because I haven't done that yet.
You and me both.
And it's going to be a good night. It's going to be hot because I can feel the heat. I can feel the humidity coming in already. I don't like summer. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so thank you, everybody, for joining us. And I hope you all have a great evening. Stay super.
You too. Bye, guys.